This is the Behind the Scene podcast. I'm the co-host, Uncle Jack 328. Follow me on Twitter at Uncle Jack 328. First name Kobe, last name Jackson. Some special guests today, but before we get to that, go ahead, holla at them, D.
This is Behind the Scene podcast where we talk that talk. My name is Deon Donovan, writer and creator of the infamous Florida Man at Title Page Comics. Y'all can check me on Instagram and Facebook. And we got the Boi Talk crew with us. What's going on, y'all? Y'all introduce yourselves.
You know what it is. It's ORRION online. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You know I'm also part of the Boi Talk cast when we're in collaboration with Behind the Scenes. You know what it is. Let's talk that talk. Daniel, go ahead and talk to him real quick.
Hey y'all, this your boy Daniel Stinnett. You can catch me on Instagram at black_lawns. I'm also one of the co-hosts of Boi Talk, collaborating with Behind the Scenes today. We're gonna get in some good talk and have some fun.
Well, I guess I'm new here. You can catch me on Instagram and every other social media network under Trifling. YouTube, well, let me spell it out for you. TRIPHLIN. You catch me on YouTube under Trifling. I said it. That's about it. I ain't nothing special.
You're good, man. You're good. And with that, let's get with the episode. All right, y'all. So with the Disney Investor Day happening last week, we got official confirmation that basically Marvel is not going to recast the role of T'Challa with Chadwick Boseman. And there's been a lot of internet controversy about it, where they should be recasted, where they did the right thing. And so I heard, Joseph, you got around to go off, man, about this topic, man. Trifling. What you got to say about the topic, bro?
Man, I got a lot. For one, do you know how long I've waited for a Black Panther movie? First and foremost, R.I.P. Chadwick Boseman, very good actor,
Yes, sir.
But I'm really totally against the fact that he passed away, so you're gonna kill the character off. We only had one movie, and everybody wants Shuri to be like, the new Black Panther. I would be cool with that if it was in like Black Panther 3. You're missing out on so many storylines that you can go with. They're trying to bring the mutants into the MCU. Storm and Black Panther had a whole relationship. So what? We're not gonna get to see that, on the big screen. It just bothers me. They feel like they're doing the right thing, but like kill a character off, especially a character that means so much to a lot of Black kids, Black people, myself in general. Like I can remember talking to Deon way before they even thought about doing a Black Panther movie. Told me, man, I can't wait till they come out with a Black Panther movie. I'm gonna be first in line to see that, just for him to have like that one film, that one solo film, and God forbid, he passed, but like there's still ways you can fix that and it still be like tasteful. We got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness coming out. I think that comes out before Black Panther 2.
Yeah, it comes out before it.
You could use what happens in that movie as a reason why he looks different. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so many ways you can go. Think about it. When Christopher Reeves had an accident, they didn't kill off Superman. You understand what I'm
that's
saying?
true.
Black Panther movie had such a big impact. It made a lot of money. I honestly think, it scares them to showcase a Black man with that much power in a fictional setting. Honestly.
My honest opinion, it's I spoke with Joseph about this. I think 3-4 weeks ago about recasting the role of Black Panther. I know a lot of us want that. We all want that, man. Like, rest in peace of Chadwick Boseman, man. Great actor, great resting power. It's going to be hard to replace that, man. As for not recasting and stuff like that, I honestly think that's the better choice because it's hard to top Chadwick Boseman. You're going to have people that's going to be coming to the theaters expecting Chadwick Boseman but you're going to have some. I don't know. Can you really, off the top of your head, think of any other actor that actually could portray Black Panther as equal or I mean, I'm not trying to be funny here and stuff like that, but you don't want to have a great value version of Chadwick Boseman in Black Panther 2, you know? I'm sorry, but like, it's just hard, man, because like great act, man, portray the character very, very well. It's almost like you cannot replace that man. You just cannot, and it's just hard to do that, and I mean, if you were going to try to do it, I mean, this is off the top of the head. Like my suggestion would be is if you're going to go ahead and explain how Shuri was going to get the Black Panther power for Black Panther 2, Disney's got an outlet. They got Disney Plus, so they could do a Black Panther 2 animation style, CG style, whatever they wanted to do to explain like the aftermath of Black Panther, like marrying Storm and being a part in the whole MCU, and being a whole part of the MCU mutant lifestyles, to get to Black Panther 2, which will be with Shuri. But to try to do a Black Panther 2 with a whole brand new actor, it's just hard, and I don't want to speak on behalf of everybody. It's just my particular opinion, but it's just one of those things. It's just like it's hard to do a switch off of what it's kind of like what you saw in Iron Man, how we all saw Rhodes from Terrence Howard to Don Cheadle and stuff like that. Like,
Okay.
do you? I mean, some of us were like, oh, well, I don't think there was that much of a complaint online when that happened. They were like, okay, that just happened. Terrence the Don Cheadle. I don't think it could be in that effect when it comes to Black Panther, because Black Panther is such an iconic character, the Black community, in general,
Okay.
and not just the Black community, but the fandom in general, because people really do feel Black Panther and stuff like that, and then when you got Chadwick Boseman fulfilling that iconic ass role, it's hard to do a trade and swap type of deal like you did with Iron Man with Terrence Howard going to Don Cheadle, stuff like that. It's just hard. I mean, it's just one of those things, So I mean, like I said, if they're going to do a Black Panther 2 with Shuri, Disney have different outlets to do it without Chadwick Boseman and without having to dilute the Black Panther. It's a legacy now, the Black Panther legacy. You can avoid the dilution by swapping out the character by doing a side story, because you guys saw the lineup for what Disney's getting ready to drop on us. The what if scenarios, the Falcon and Winter Soldier. You got all these other almost like I'll call them side quest movies and stuff like that. They got little side quest movies and side quest shows and stuff like that. It's getting ready, WandaVision
Yeah,
and all that stuff like that.
the
There's
DLC. The
yeah,
DLC.
exactly. So you got that. So if you're going to do a Black Panther 2 to build it up for sure to become the new Black Panther, they will have to probably do that to keep the respective role and the legacy of how Black Panther was done and with Chadwick Boseman. But that's just my opposing factor. I mean,
Okay.
Basically, what it was is the word is that Disney had already been talking to Chadwick Boseman and I forgot her name, who's played for Shuri. They were already prompting them even before Chadwick Boseman passed away and everything, that they were already leaning towards that storyline anyway for Shuri, because in the original comic, T'Challa trains Shuri and gives her the flower for the power of Black Panther, so that she can take over for him when he gets to the point where he doesn't want to do it anymore. And so she ends up becoming the next Black Panther anyway. With that being said, Disney was already in the mindset that's like, hey, look, Chadwick Boseman is not gonna be Black Panther the entire time. We're trying to set it up for the next generation to take over, so that Shuri can become the next Black Panther, and then they can do whatever storyline they wanted to do from there. Then plus there was the rumors that they were going to possibly bring in the mutants, and that T'Challa, that might have been their Disney the Marvels out. They might have been like, hey, look, T'Challa wants to get married to Storm. He doesn't want to be Black Panther anymore. He just wants to be King of Wakanda. That's where Shuri steps in, and she becomes a Black Panther. As to my opinion, as to them not wanting to do the character anymore, just out of respect for Chadwick Boseman and the character. I mean, while it sucks for fans to not be able to see that and everything like that, I kind of feel that was the right call because to go along with what Orion was saying, you have a character who is so much that character and so beloved by the fans that he's suddenly passed away. Now you have to fill the void of trying to find a character who from now on is going to be forever compared to this original character, no matter who you put in. Like I'll give you a good example. Let's look at my boy Heath Ledger after he died after the Joker, right? Joker comes out, he does a ridiculous job up until that point. Everybody was saying he was the best Joker that ever did. I personally don't think so, but a lot of people said he was. But from that point on, anybody else that you brought in after that, everybody's gonna automatically compare him to. So who was the next Joker after Heath Ledger? It was Jared Leto. Even though I actually thought that Jared Leto did a great job for what they gave him in Suicide Squad, nobody wanted to give him any props because oh well he's not Heath Ledger. Okay, well what about some of the older Jokers like Jack Nicholson and Cesar Romero and all those guys who paved the way for Heath Ledger to get there? Well, they're okay, but they're not Heath Ledger. So it's the same concept. Yeah, we could have went and put in a character to replace Chadwick Boseman, but then nobody's gonna give that next character any shine because everybody's gonna be like, well, he's okay, but he's kind of great value Chadwick Boseman. He's not the same thing, and people are gonna give Disney and them a hard time. So I feel like Disney's looking at this as like, all right, look, it's sad that Chadwick Boseman passed away, but out of respect for the character, out of respect for his family, and also it kind of aligns with what we want to do moving forward anyway with the series. Let's go ahead and retire the character now, and let's go ahead and move on story-wise what we wanted to do in the first.
I just want to say one thing real quick. I hear where y'all coming from, but it's starting to sound more like it sounds more like the Chadwick Boseman show and not the Black Panther. It's like
I mean, but Chadwick Boseman is the Black
uh,
Panther. I mean, the
I
man passed
know,
away.
but
What can you do?
Okay.
are we looking for an actor to play Chadwick, or are we looking for would we be looking for actors to play Black Panther, that character? It's like
Okay.
it's like I know it's hard to separate the two, but when it comes down to it, Black Panther is a fictional character. How many Supermans we done had? How many Batmans we done had?
Right.
You know, I mean I feel where y'all coming from about not like placing him, but he has so many other movies under his belt. He got one that just came out today. It's on Netflix right now. And I think shit. Matter of fact, Denzel Washington has a son that acts. I don't know if y'all seen him. He's a pretty good actor. You
Yeah, he
know,
did his thing in Tenet.
Right.
yeah. You never know until you give somebody a chance to. We got so many of black actors that are good that could fill that role. Shit, if they want, even if they wanted to, they could do a Black Panther prequel. What happened during the time his father was Black Panther? There's so many other ways to go than to just immediately switch to Shuri because that's the move right now. We gave these black men a hero. Let's give our black females, they hero. I'm down with that too. But like I said, it to me it would seem rushed. Like I see Shuri becoming the Black Panther towards the end of Black Panther 2 and the beginning of Black Panther 3 if they went, you know, that long, man. But just to kill a whole character because of an act, it's crazy. It's crazy because you don't know how many of kids that like affected and make little kids feel like empowered to have a black superhero. Now, if you told me within the next 2 years we was getting a Blue Marvel movie, I wouldn't feel like so bad about the choice.
Yeah,
They
that'd be dope.
you know, I wouldn't feel so bad. But like, who else do we got? You know,
Blade, I think 5 years, hopefully,
Yeah.
but
This is an interesting topic when you look at it from both sides. With what Daniel brought up about the Joker, part of the reason why Jared Leto kind of got the bad rap that he got in that situation, number one, like Suicide Squad was a bad movie altogether in general. There was nothing redeeming in the marketing. the way that they acted that movie,
Nope.
the dialogue, that
It was
movie was
trash.
just trash all around. Regardless of how there's nothing, a good performance from Jared Leto as the Joker in that movie wouldn't have made a lick of difference in the grand scheme of things as it pertains to the way that the people view that movie, right? But I do think there's something to be said when you recast the character a little bit too soon. We weren't ready to see somebody else as the Joker during that time the Suicide Squad came out. And it was a little bit gimmicky to shoehorn that character into that movie to begin with, in my opinion. With this situation here, a lot of it is unfortunate because we didn't know how quick things could turn. But honestly, if Disney could recast that character with another actor, I don't doubt for a second that they would do. I don't think that Disney, as a multimedia empire, has compassion because an iconic actor ends up passing away. That's just not in their DNA to show compassion
Right.
to fans or the general
It's
public.
true.
But in this particular instance, I don't know that there's a better alternative than the choice that they made here. You know what I'm saying? Because any other actor who steps into that role immediately after, what ended up taking place this year, automatically is going to be walking in the shadow that was already casted by an actor that portrayed this character, not only in this movie that was a moment in time, but also you take into account you seen him in Infinity War and you seen him in Civil War as well. There were other movies where you seen him playing that part that built up to that one particular moment. To the next appearance of that character to be portrayed by a different actor too soon, like that would be career suicide for anybody who stepped into that role. The only way I think someone could get recasted as Black Panther, we would at least need to wait a minimum of 5 years.
Jackson just filled up everything I needed to say.
My
That's
bad.
exactly how I felt.
My,
No, you
my
got it.
bad. Ho. My bad. My
You,
bad. Ho.
you,
I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah, you on the same wavelength
Yeah.
as me, man.
I
I
didn't.
got you. I feel you.
Yeah, that would be career suicide for anybody trying to step into that part to where I don't think anybody out there would want to be willing to step up to the plate to take that. Like the backlash would almost be too much to even be worth trying to step into. Like there's a difference between doing what's right and doing what's necessary. And in this instance, I think it's a coincidence that the right thing is also the necessary thing to do. You know what I'm saying? To anybody who, how y'all feel about that? Am I reaching? Well,
I
what it is,
mean,
I'm
I,
thinking.
nah, nah, I mean, you're not reaching because it comes down to reading the room, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like we're in a time where Black Lives Matter and you know social equality and everything else like that going on for Black people right now. The last thing that Disney and Marvel want to do is piss off the Black community by being like, oh well, sorry guys, Chadwick Boseman died. But on the other hand, here's so and so as Black Panther. Black people gonna be like, well, damn, y'all need to let the man get cold in the ground before you start replacing his role and try to set us up with the next person. And then it could have had the negative effect, by trying to throw in a character in as fast as they could have to
Mm-hmm.
replace Chadwick Boseman. But look to bring up what Joseph has said earlier though, Disney did like I said, Disney is not dumb. Disney knows what they're doing. That's why you have the multiverse of madness with Doctor Strange and with them setting up all with Endgame and them setting up all the different multiverses. That's going to be Disney's out because that means at any point in time, if you ever wanted to bring back a character from any reason, you could always just use that as an excuse. For example, let's look at Robert Downey Jr. at the end of Endgame. We all know what happened there, right? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Downey Jr. said, "All right, well, I'm done with my contract. I don't want to do this anymore." But look, you don't think if Marvel came up to that man with a fat sack of 50 million or something like that, saying, "Hey, Robert Downey Jr., we want you to come back for a couple of movies as a cameo, and we'll bring you back and do this and that." You don't think that man wouldn't jump up and say, "Yeah"? That's gonna be their out if they decide they want to come back and they want to bring back T'Challa for Black Panther or whatnot. Okay, they went to a different dimension and got a different version of him. There's always gonna be a way to bring back a character. I mean, just look at comics. You know what I'm saying? One day you can have Captain America get shot with a sniper rifle. The next day, Captain America is now a secret Hydra agent. You know what I mean? Like it's like there's always gonna be a way to bring back characters
You ain't
when they
lying
want
there,
them to come
man.
back. There's always gonna be a way to bring back characters. So I mean, while it's sad for right now, it just feels like the best thing that Disney could do right now in the short term is to go ahead and close the book on T'Challa for right now. Go ahead and let Shuri get her shine as Black Panther because we'll still have Black Panther. It's not like the character itself is done. It's not like they were like, all right, we're never gonna go to Wakanda or have anything to do with Black Panther ever again because Black Panther is an important cornerstone of the Marvel movies. But have her come up, have her become Black Panther, and then just like what Deon was saying, we got all this other stuff that's going on here with what is it like 22 different movies and TV shows and all this stuff like that. Like, trust me, Disney gonna be eating whether or not Black Panther is alive or dead. Let's be real. You know, don't want to sound don't want to sound like I don't care because I do. But in a business sense, Disney's like, all right, well, we're sad that Chadwick Boseman died, but look, we still got to eat at the end of the day. So we're going to keep making this money any way we can. And if that means doing other TV shows while we got to prop up Shuri and everything like that, then let it be done.
And I know Orion kind of had a point he wanted to get off as well. It's just timing and all of this to me is the most important factor. The reason why, I don't want to jump around off of the topic, but there's a lot of different examples that could be used throughout the entire medium that we talking about right here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't even have to be a character being replaced. It could just be a transition from one character to a different character that's meant to be in that spot. When the timing isn't right, everything else doesn't fall in the way it's supposed to. Case in point, how many people are gonna say that they liked Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man? Regardless,
Not many.
my bad,
Not
brother.
many.
My bad. Regardless of if you felt his performance as the character was one that you liked or disliked, it was still too fresh in everybody's mind what came before it for what came after it to get that proper amount of exposure and the proper amount of time for things to fit the right way. You know what I'm saying? That's why we skip over Andrew Garfield for the most part. That's why in 007 terms, they skipped over Timothy Dalton and went straight into Pierce Brosnan. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit like that isn't a coincidence when it comes to these signature characters that are assigned to certain franchises. Timing always has to be the most important thing. You know what I'm saying? Everybody wanted to replace Michael Jordan until they realized they couldn't do it. And then after that, that's when we let Kobe Bryant be who Kobe Bryant ended up being. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit, talk that talk, man.
Hey, yo, okay, so check this out. All right. I'm going to put two devil advocate scenarios right now.
All
All
right.
right. Okay. So Space Jam. Let's put it at Space Jam. All right. So now we got Michael Jordan Space Jam, and now we got LeBron James Space Jam. Let's put that at let's put that at Black Panther terms. All right.
Yeah.
So Michael Jordan, Chadwick Boseman, some so and so nigga, and LeBron James. All right. It's hard. So Space Jam 2 is coming out next year on HBO. So how many of you guys going to actually really go ahead and see that and try to relate that to the classic? Because I'm already going ahead and dilute it already. So it's like, no, you can't replace the original. I'm sorry.
Wait, so
but that's the thing though, because LeBron said, I mean, LeBron said from the very beginning when they were even making it, they were like, look, he was like, I am in no way trying to replace or do anything with that because Space Jam is just one of those 90s classics that you're never gonna be able to replace because it was a product of its time.
Right.
LeBron said he's like, look, I'm just trying to take what was done in the first Space Jam and I'm trying to put my own twist on it for a new generation. While I can see that it's I don't really think that applies in this one because if it was a situation, say like instead of Michael Jordan, it was Kobe Bryant. who made
Right.
the original Space Jam. Okay, Kobe died, rest in peace. Now
Mhm.
LeBron James is doing it. Okay, that's a similar situation here. Well, Michael Jordan's still alive. Michael Jordan's still getting his roses while he's still alive.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron, everybody's over here propping up LeBron as the GOAT over Michael Jordan. So it's almost like an entirely different situation that we're looking at here, because people are looking at it as like, all right, well, LeBron is just trying to copy off of Michael Jordan for Space Jam and do his own version, and that's what it's going to be, as opposed to
Right.
Chadwick Boseman with Black Panther. Okay, the man just died. Now you want us to replace him with somebody like less than a year after he
Right.
died with another character. It just comes across as insensitive, and it's a little bit of a different little context there.
Generalization and stuff like that. It's like, all right, when it comes to trying to re-up on something that already exists, such as Black Panther, and you're putting in another actor to actually do, let's say, Black Panther 2 or doing a reboot and stuff like that, it's going to be one of those things. It's like Chadwick Boseman did his thing with Black Panthers. And if you were going to do a reboot 5 years from now, you're going to come up with a whole brand new actor that's going to do a whole re-up of Wakanda and how T'Challa is like, and the whole plethora, I guess, But another devil's advocate scenario that I was going to throw out there as well is, you guys threw up the Spider-Man context, stuff like that. We had the Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland stuff, right? Now, let's say that let's say that, Spider-Man did, the first original Spider-Man did very well in box office, just like how, well, not this, I don't know the numbers. I'm just going to throw out whatever it is, but I don't know how well Spider-Man and Black Panther is in context or in ratio it is, how they did well in box office number. But what if Black Panther was going to do Andrew Garfield numbers in box office? You know how fast they'd be able to replace, even with Chadwick Boseman passing away. Like I said, no disrespect to the man, but you know how fast they will go ahead and recast him if they was doing Andrew Garfield numbers.
Well, I
Well,
get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. My bad, brother. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Mm.
I understand. I understand what you're saying there, but even at this point, like, I don't even know if we could. I don't even know if we could make that argument relating to the MCU. If this was something that, okay, if Black Panther, let's say Black Panther, like, y'all remember back in the day before the age of the MCU, when all of these characters were basically licensed out to different studios. You had Blade as a property in New Line Cinema. You had X-Men and Fantastic Four under the Fox umbrella. You know what I'm saying? You had Spider-Man under Sony. I think Daredevil might have been under, it was Fox. Yeah.
Was it Fox?
Yeah,
it was Fox.
It
Yeah, it
was
was Fox.
Yeah.
It was Fox, right?
Mhm.
Back in those days, I think there would have been more creative license to go based off of box office returns and who's actually spending their money. How much money are we making off of these properties? How much money are we making off of merchandising and everything like that? The only characters that have been recasted throughout this MCU endeavor that I know off the top of my head were the Incredible Hulk and Colonel James Rhodes. And in both of those instances, nobody misses Terrence Howard as Colonel James Rhodes, and nobody misses Edward Norton as the Incredible Hulk. Almost to the
Shoot,
point
I miss
where,
Edward Norton.
I mean,
Right.
yeah. Look, I'm with you. That wasn't a bad movie at all. And Edward Norton is a damn good actor. You know what I'm saying? Fight Club all day long, right? But in the grand scheme of things, those are the only two recasts that have happened throughout this entire enterprise here.
One thing, if this was Warner Brothers, if they were in the same position, they would have recast T'Challa in 2 weeks.
Man,
that man would have been
and
recasted.
it's fucked up, but it's true. It's fucked up, but that's the truth.
Yeah,
That's the truth.
I had to throw that out there.
Michael J. White would have been casted as King T'Challa for Black Panther 2. No doubt in my mind.
Oh,
Yeah,
but
directed
what
by
you
Zack
know
Snyder.
what we go Fox, you go Fox. How about recast the whole entire Fantastic Four
Oh,
with some bullshit?
I mean,
uh,
but look, this would come down to when y'all keep saying at least 5 years, at least 5 years. Well,
That's still
y'all
too
got
early.
exactly that's still too early because you got to
Yeah,
look at it like this, right?
yeah,
The Dark Knight came out in 2008.
at
Uh-huh.
least
That
give it
was
at least.
when that was when Heath Ledger won. When Heath Ledger died, and then he won the Oscar for Joker. 2008, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What year did Suicide Squad come out?
2016.
2016. That's 8 years. You would
Yep.
think in 8 years, people's mindset would have been so far away from it that it would have been like, okay, we can accept that we're gonna finally have a new Joker and Jared Leto. As soon as they announced Jared Leto, the internet went off. They said, "How
Hey,
could you replace Heath Ledger? How could you do this to us? It's been
and bro,
almost 10 years since the man died."
and bro, not only that, peep this, right? Peep this. This was Jared Leto coming off of winning an Academy Award casting the Joker,
Exactly.
and they
This
still
man is
didn't
the
want to
front
let
man
him
for a
live
rock
on that.
band. This man's the front man for 30 Seconds to Mars. This man is a rock star, an Academy Award winning actor, and was going to play one of the most iconic villains in history. That should be a boom boom deal for anybody. The internet said, no, we don't want him because he looks trash and he's not Heath Ledger. So,
But he shouldn't have been casted for that movie.
I mean, that's a conversation for a different day. Like I said, I think that he did good for what they gave him. Like you said earlier, the movie was trash, so it's not like there was much you could do to save it anyway. So he did the best he could, and then plus also they cut like 15, 20 minutes of his screen time out the movie when they went into the editing. So we didn't even get to see the full range of him playing it. But that's neither here or there. I just think that you know with Black Panther there's really like it's almost like it's a lose-lose situation for Disney. If Disney goes ahead and replaces Chadwick Boseman with somebody too soon, the black community is going to be upset because it just feels like they were just waiting for him to get cold in the ground before you replace him with somebody. And then if you if they try to go that direction, then now you get the ire of the black community, and Marvel's fans are going to be mad at you. And right now, the last thing Disney wants is any kind of negativity from the black community in a time of Black Lives Matter and stuff like that. So they ain't gonna do nothing to make us
yeah.
mad.
I got you, Joseph. I got you on this, Joseph, man, because I feel you, man. I feel you, man, on this casting decision to a certain degree. Because with T'Challa gone, man, we're never gonna get that friendship with him with Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? That shit hurts. With T'Challa gone, we're never gonna get the Storm X-Men connection and his marriage to her, or even the love triangle with him. And I forgot Lupita Nyong'o's character's name, but you know where I'm getting with that.
Or the Illuminati.
Oh yes, yes, or the Illuminati and the Secret Wars, or his rivalry with Namor and Atlantis and the Wakanda fight versus them, or his legendary rivalry with Doctor Doom, who's, I mean, it speaks for itself. T'Challa was one of the only characters in the Marvel comic universe to go toe to toe with Victor Von Doom one on one on smarts and in power, man. So we're missing out on a lot. We are missing out on a lot with T'Challa gone in the role of the Black Panther. And there has been other people besides Shuri who's taken up the mantle. It's just that they weren't up to they weren't up to par. We had Killmonger took over for the role for a little bit, and we had Casper Cole taking on sort of a like a let's say like a Netflix Marvel role of Black Panther being in like inner Harlem, working as a police officer during the day and having Black Panther technology at night. But
Right.
it's a double edged sword because we miss out on some of the greatest aspects of T'Challa further on, and on the other hand, Shuri wasn't really prepped to be the Black Panther so far. And comic and movie Shuri is completely different. Let's be honest. Comic Shuri is more of a badass. Comic Shuri has the intelligence, but she also has that physicality to her where she can back it up on that.
No, I was saying she's strong as hell too. Like
Right.
without the heart shape herb.
Right, right. She's strong as hell too, and the MCU version's more of like a science whiz tech genius more than anything. I can't see her winning anything in Challenge Day. When the time arrives, man, she better learn some pressure points or something. But they didn't really set her up to be anything other than the tech whiz so far in the MCU. So it's a double-edged sword, man. And I'll be honest, I can only think of three sort of similar situations that this has occurred. And Daniel already mentioned it with Heath Ledger. Had Christopher Nolan planned for the Joker to reprise his role in the third film? I don't know. We don't know. But if he did, I think he would have made a decision to not go forward with that. We also have Brandon Lee in The Crow,
Oh my
who had
man, I
an
was waiting on it.
you know what's
Right on
coming. You know
time.
what's coming, man. We have Brandon Lee in The Crow, Brandon Lee was at the peak of his career, man, acting in martial arts. Who finally kind of like Chadwick Boseman, and then he had an untimely death. They made 4 or 5 sequels, and it was trash. It was ass, and it never lived up to the first one. And then we have a more recent memory, Paul Walker, man, in Fast Seven, and just imagine with the way they had him exit that franchise, if they decided to use his brother, mocap his face, and CG or recast him for Fast 8, 9, and 10, and so forth. It wouldn't have. It would have been very tricky territory for them to
Yeah.
recast going forth in those kind of films. And to be honest with you, this is a very unique situation in cinematic history because I cannot tell you with a role of T'Challa being the front man of a movie that made over $1 billion in the box office, not to mention featuring other movies to die in the middle of a production. This is not just 3 films. This is the next 10 years. This is a sequence of 10 to 20 years of films of storylines and everything along with that. I cannot tell you any other situation that's been like this in cinematic history. I mean, can you? Can any of you guys think of one?
Mm-mm.
Nope.
That's the
So,
question I want to be able to ask. As
uh,
could you guys think of a replacement actor
No.
off the top of your head right now?
Nope.
I told you who
I
I
don't know.
thought
Not
could
right
pull it.
now.
No, I was saying I was talking about Denzel's son. Like I honestly think he could pull it off if given the chance. Is that his type of role? I don't think so, but I think he could pull it off.
yeah.
You know,
I, I think you could potentially. It's just very tricky, man. I mean, it's hard
yeah.
to step in those shoes. It's hard to step in that role, man. It's such a. It'd be different if you
See,
gave him a different character and he took
right.
over as the
That's
mantle.
the thing. People got to set the man from the character. They gotta. It's like everybody's worried about him stepping in Chadwick's shoes. No, he's not. The next actor to play the Black Panther is not doing that. They're stepping in the Black Panther shoes. Can you play a good Black Panther? You can't do Chadwick Boseman. Only Chadwick Boseman can do Chadwick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I
And
think, oh, I think in this regard, can we separate Black Panther from T'Challa on the big screen? Now that might be the question.
Mm, the only thing, the only thing that I would say, like, and it was a great question for you to ask. Is it possible to separate T'Challa from Black Panther? It is possible, but the only issue is that we never got to see that transition between those two characters. It was still so
Mm,
early. It was still early within the development of that character as a
right,
standalone because there was still more to be seen. There was still more to be done as it relates to what they were able to do with that character. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they waited a decade before you seen Captain America hand the shield off. You know what I'm saying? There's a
yeah.
reason why on this YouTube channel that this video is gonna get uploaded to. We did damn near 5 videos about Spider-Man and how things could have been, should have been, or can be. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason
Right.
why. There's a reason why, you know what I'm saying, in Dragon Ball Z, they took the belt from Gohan and put it back on Goku at the end of the series.
Mm,
There's
that
a
hurt.
Damn.
I felt that one.
Man,
I felt that
they
one.
did
you
they
see
did Gohan dirty, boy.
I
I
you
just
see
want
what
you
believe
to know.
on Gohan.
Oh
you see
shit!
what
See,
I'm
you got
saying?
him rolling, yo.
You see what I'm saying? Like I don't want to do it, but I got to do it. There's a reason why Ultimate Warrior can pin Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania, and then 2 years later, Hulk Hogan is winning the belt at WrestleMania. There's a reason why. Like the time, the timing has to be right. Like as it relates to Black Panther and T'Challa, it would have been great if we got to see it get to that point where everything you could do there is already done, right? Like right now, I'm gonna ask everybody on the phone right now: is it possible to see someone else casted as Wolverine that is not named Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but it's gonna be very hard.
I agree with
Nah,
y'all on that.
not right now.
But see, would you rather see this point in time? Would you rather see a new actor recasted as Logan slash Wolverine and Ultimate X-Men, or do you think that X-23, based off of what we seen in Logan, is worthy to be that type of character because of the work that we seen over 20 years from Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
No.
We could use another Wolverine, a new one.
I agree.
I have no faith
Okay.
in X-23 right
Okay.
now.
Okay.
But I can see more Mr. Fantastic. Fantastic Four can get recasted.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, okay. So it has to, like, the separation has to kick in somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know we made reference to Christopher Reeve and Superman at the time, and to this day, honestly, it's crazy to even look at it this way. But nobody who's been casted as Superman after Christopher Reeve, whether it be live action, TV series, anybody who puts an S on their chest
Whoo!
is damn near committing career suicide.
Damn, yo.
Like, if we really being all the way honest, Henry Cavill
But that
had the.
but that's
Go
that's for
ahead, brother.
our generation though. You gotta think
Okay.
about the new generation that's out there.
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem. People are afraid of like change. Like
Yeah.
I hate to sound like the bad guy, but like life goes on. It's like this whole thing got me feeling like, well, if we can't have Chadwick do Black Panther, we don't need a Black Panther at all. And at a time like this, with how everything is in the world, we need a Black Panther. We really need a Black Panther, man.
Joseph, I would ask you, would you be okay if it wasn't Shuri taking the mantle for the second movie? If it was just another guy, let's just say some poor Wakandan came
Um,
rose to the ranks and
It's,
became king. Would you be okay with that? Because
it's got
M'Baku.
it's
got
not
to make sense.
T'Challa. It's the Black Panther. It's T'Challa's role. It's not the
Yeah,
Black
M'Baku.
Panther.
M'Baku.
it's got to make sense. Like for the reason I don't like Shuri just jumping into the mantle right now, it don't make sense. Where was the add up to this? Like he only had one movie. Like
Yeah.
something like that makes sense towards, the third movie. Like I fuck with it because she got to build herself up as a character. But like for her to just go from movie one to movie two and be the Black Panther, no, she's a jokester. Listen to what your boy said about her at Challenge Day.
Oh, M'Baku?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
she's not ready, and it just doesn't make sense. Oh, but it's like, oh, she's the Black Panther in the comic book right now, so let's do that. Like, no, I'm like build up to that. Like, I'm honestly thinking about not even going to see Black Panther 2.
Hold on. Now, that's the reason why I
Whoa,
threw
whoa,
that.
whoa,
I threw
hold
that
on.
curveball. I said I would be fine with Michael B. Jordan being T'Challa.
How would you explain? How would
Wait,
you?
Right.
wait.
How do we get
We
there
said
though?
T'Challa or Black Panther no longer
Right.
coming back and taking the mantle. But man, he went through all that shit and just wouldn't become take the throne again. I don't know, man. That
Nah,
kind of
that
negates the first film.
yeah,
Yeah,
man. Like
Yeah,
we could retcon, but like it has to be within reason.
but
let me.
I
even
mean,
Joseph came up with a he came up with a good proposition with the multiverse of madness to get a T'Challa from another universe. That kind of makes sense, but how do you properly introduce it with no
Right.
CGI, no mocap? You know, like you have no footage to even, you know what I'm saying? You have no footage to really introduce that in a cohesive way. There's nothing to bridge the gap between recasting and like reintroducing with that angle. You know, it's a very sticky situation. You pretty much have the most iconic black character in fiction right now in the
Mm-hmm.
world. How do you
Mm-hmm.
handle that with your current situation?
Okay, just
I,
just look at the three Spider-Mans, right? They're trying to bring the three Spider-Mans back. Each Peter Parker looks different, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be that hard to explain. Okay, this is the Tyler of this universe. You know, something went down in his universe. He has no other universe to go to. You know, it's so many ways it could be written in that way. You know, but like
Right.
this is the
Yeah.
question I really want to ask everybody. If it was you that was Chadwick and you knew how much that character meant to everybody, would you really want that character to stop at you not wanting nobody else to play the character that you played, or would you want to somebody to continue that legacy?
Honestly, I did exactly what Daniel has said. You got to fill the room out before you can. I mean, you have to give it to the people. They got to You got to fill the people out to see if like, hey, they're willing to accept a new Black Panther. You know, because it's one of those things that you kind of have to really like read your audience, and that's something
Yeah,
that Disney had to learn how to
change,
do. You know.
change is inevitable. So it's inevitable.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. Like that is a very, very like that's a super valid point. I can't even front. Like I would feel out of pocket even trying to answer that question.
Because I know honestly, if it was me in that situation, I would be like, no, I want somebody else, give somebody else a chance to play this role and let these kids continue to have their hero. Did you see how heartbroken these kids were when he passed? They was having funerals for their Black Panther toy. It wasn't a T'Challa or Chadwick toy. Black. It was a Black Panther. Black Panther hit so
It,
hard on their nose, it had little white kids wanting to be a black superhero. Where they do that at?
see, what was he? But that's the whole entire thing. It's not that nobody is saying that we don't want Black Panther to come back. At the end of the day, though, Disney has to. I mean, I don't want to play devil's advocate and look at it from a business sense, but Disney is looking at this from a business sense as well as a social sense. Yes, yeah, socially, we would love to throw the next person we can into Black Panther and keep it going and go from there. But in a time of business
Right.
Mhm.
sense, if Disney messes this up, not only do you taint the fans from wanting to go see Black Panther from this one, you mess things up for possibly the next 10 plus years if you mess this up.
Right.
So Disney's not trying to ruin the next 10 years of possible profits from making a Black Panther
And
movie
and
because they try to fill it in too soon. You know what I'm saying? So
the
Uh,
only
uh,
thing
Go ahead.
the only thing I want to add into that, like just to piggyback off what Daniel was saying, like right now, Disney is definitely in PR spin mode. It took them almost, I'm not even sure how long. They just replaced one of the most racist pieces of their history by taking out a certain part of the Small World ride at they parks and replacing it with the Princess and the Frog. Like they are
oh no,
definitely
no, bro. Nah, it wasn't. It's a small world. I was just down at Disney World over the
yeah,
summer. It's not. It was Splash Mountain. Splash Mountain. It was based
Splash
off a
Mountain.
song,
Yes,
Song of the South. Song of the
right.
South is an
Skippity doo
extremely racist movie.
dah.
Right,
Extremely
right,
racist movie.
right.
So yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
talking about.
Thank you for clearing that up. Thank you. I appreciate you clearing that up because that would have looked crazy on the playback. But like they are definitely in. And again, I don't want to try to speak. I don't want to try to speak big business talk that I'm not qualified for. But it's clear that they're in that mode of trying to do everything they can do to keep their hands clean in terms of the way that they look and the way that they look like they're trying to do business. I don't think
Exactly.
they want to try to do anything that appears disingenuous at all. Not right now. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's my last word on it. My bad, brother Joseph. My bad. I ain't mean to talk over you, brother.
Oh no, it's cool. But this is one I want to ask, and I could be done with it. What kind of storyline outside of her becoming the Black Panther are we gonna get from now on?
I mean, to be determined right now because
Ooh,
especially with T'Challa dying, that definitely threw a
man.
wrench in Disney's plans. So now Disney got to kind of go back and be like, all right, what do we do from here? Like, I feel like even though we said that we weren't gonna have anything with Shuri. Just like I said, the word on the street was that Disney was already looking towards that as the storyline of T'Challa training Shuri up and taking her from being the jokester into being the possible, next mantle for Black Panther. So I feel like this may be one of those things where story wise, maybe like, okay, well, she was a jokester, but now her brother just died. So now she has to be more mature and has to live up to the family name or what I'm saying? Like they could always do some kind of storyline like that to do it and
Okay.
whatnot. So I don't think that there's no way that they could retcon that to putting Shuri in there. It just comes down to whether or not people are going to accept it, which I think people will. You know what I mean? So just like you were saying, Joseph. We already had our first big black superhero now with Black Panther. I'm sure the world is ready for the big female black superhero. I would hope so, but.
Yeah, but we're also getting Ironheart. Don't forget about that. Ironheart is coming.
Man,
Yeah,
but you
true.
got but you got to think about Ironheart. A lot of people don't like Ironheart because a lot of people thought that her comic book
Oh,
run.
hold on. You
Well,
gonna get us
well,
canceled, man? No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
well, no. I mean, like just a lot of people weren't feeling the original comic book run. A lot of people thought that she was just basically a carbon copy of Robert Downey Jr. just as a black woman, and people just really just weren't really feeling it. I would hope that they would somehow learn from the comics and make it a lot more palatable for the fans because trust me, I would love to see Ironheart in MCU. A black female Iron Man. Oh, I'm all about it. But at the same
Word.
time, it's going to come down to timing and making sure that they do it right so that they don't turn the fans off.
Right. All right. What you got for Joseph's question? Then I'll end it up.
I can't think of anything off the top of my head, man. Like honestly, like in a bigger scope of things, stuff like that. I mean, as for black superheroes being on the silver screen or possibly at HBO or Disney Plus, however the fuck things happen in the future. But we got Blade, we got Mustafa Ali. You know that's I don't. I'm not trying to say that he's going to be a replacement of Black Panther or anything else, but he's a superhero that I'm also looking for. Whatever, what would you call it other than superhero? He's another character that I'm gonna be looking forward to. You know, that's been recast. I don't know multiple times over the 20, 30 plus years, something like that. But yeah, man. Like even though we might not have Black Panther stuff like that, like I said, we got Blade. I'm looking forward to that. As for what you could do with Black Panther, this beyond stuff like that, like I said, man, leave it up to Disney Plus, man. Have that DLC content ready to go, man. Come up with a storyline, an animated storyline, a CG storyline to go in depth with T'Challa. I mean, yes, you could have a voiceover actor to actually to play out some of those instances you guys talked about. All those great events that took place with T'Challa. We're facing off Doctor Doom and all that stuff like that. Like there's still that outlet. I'm not saying. I mean, you could turn it into a Saturday morning cartoon, kind of like what they did back in the day with Fox. With Fox, when they had Spider Man and Hulk and and Ghost Rider and all this shit like that. I mean, like go elaborate with it. That say like, hey, this is gonna be part of the transition period of having Shuri as the next Black Panther. But I'm not saying that you have to destroy T'Challa, T'Challa or Black Panther in general. There's so many outlets that Disney could go about it without having to worry about Chadwick Boseman. Not saying that they should just disregard it, man. But there's still ways to tell his tale. Like I said,
Facts.
there's so many things going on. That Disney can go with.
Word, word. And the last thing I'll say about this, knowing the comics, T'Challa has been forced from the throne, removed from the throne, and has given up the throne multiple times throughout his comic book history. And there's always been storylines about who's in power of Wakanda, who's fighting for power. How Doctor Doom ruled Wakanda and took it from Shuri and T'Challa. So, with Shuri taking the mantle of Black Panther, she's going to be threatened. She's going to be threatened. There's going to be some kind of force to remove her. And so just the throne being empty basically is a storyline unto itself. And it's a safe move to take her to be the Black Panther mantle. But knowing the way that they have evolved her, I think it's a vacant seat waiting for a true hire to the throne, whether it be from an alternative universe or whether it be a Wakandan from the ranks or somebody. I think that there's definitely a story to be told with a vacant seat in a different way from the first movie. And it's kind of just, it's almost like the damn thing became like a freaking comic book in the sense of just not to make light of what happened, but it's happened before in the comics, and they can kind of take some of that and make it into the movie itself, and maybe make it into a mystery, maybe make it into a two-parter for the second and third film, connecting them together. So there's a different avenues of ways they can do it. I think it was a safe move. I think they kind of gives them some time to figure out something for real, for real. The 5 years, I mean, they got some time to plan this shit out further on because I can't picture Shuri leading the Avengers against Doctor Doom's army or Kane the Conqueror or Ultron 2.0 or whatever they have planned for the next 10 years. So I think it's definitely something that's in the works. And this is not the final say of Black Panther or Wakanda.